one of the theses which was done from our center, and it has been published in Journal of Strabismus. So is there any role of television games in treatment of amblyopia? So basically amblyopia is a very important public health problem, and visual impairment is lifelong. In amblyopia there is questionable compliance, failure rate is high, and treatment is challenging. Because the compliance is compromised, child may dislike the patch, eyeglasses, drops, and even using the amblyopic eye. So innovative techniques need to be evolved, which should be child friendly and cope up with cosmetic blemish and monotony, and simultaneously it should provide the visual stimulation. A novel and interesting manner is to associate amblyopia therapy with television. Why you should use television games? Because they are easily accessible in every household, colossal influence they enjoy in our daily life, and fondness with which children watch it. It is an effortless method of providing stimulus to the amblyopic eye in children. Various type of games they are available, and so aim of our study was to find out role of television games as an adjuvant to patching in children's, and this study was conducted from 2008 to 2010. It was prospective, randomized and interventional study. These were our inclusion criteria. The children were from 4 to 7 years of age, and the refractive error was corrected and specs were prescribed for at least 6 weeks. These were our exclusion criteria, and the patients, they were divided in 2 groups, and these were the examinations which were done. These were the television games which were used in our study. So I will directly so basically there was improvement in stereo acuity, distance visual acuity and near visual acuity, and which was statistically significant. So basically treatment of amblyopia is a therapeutic challenge to the ophthalmologist, and it has perplexed clinicians over centuries, both as regards to its diagnosis and treatment, and it is further highlighted by vastness and variety of treatment modalities tried and research done in this field. It has been tried in the past also. Park et al., they found that one important factor which they speculated for good outcome in their study was near activities while patching. Then pedic eye disease group, they said there is significance of near exercises as an adjuvant, but it was not analyzed separately. So basically in ATS 6 they have done 2 hours of patching, and in our study we have done full time patching, and in ATS 6 near activities in one group and distant activities in other group, while in our study television games at 1 meter as near activities additional to patching only in one group. So in the compliance in our study was objectively monitored with investigator personally helping the children to perform the task at each weekly visit. So basically there was statistically significant improvement in distance visual acuity, near visual acuity in both the groups, but it was found to be better in the television game group compared to the full time patching group. So this television is a very popular mode of entertainment. It engages the children and adults alike, spending the ideal time, and popularity of it refuses to die down. Easily accessible in majority of household. So I would like to conclude, television games is beneficial adjunctive modality to the patching in treatment of amblyopia. It improves the visual acuity outcome, and children's interest is alive in amblyopia therapy. Thank you very much. And Dr. Pradeep Deshpande is one of the non-strabismologists from the country. He has developed some iPad
questions ले लें
games.
सुभाष
Questions उसके बाद में ले लेंगे sir. So he will be describing his video games. So Dr. Deshpande, please.
At the onset, let me express my sincere thanks to all the dignitaries, all the legends, those who are working especially in amblyopia and strabismus and pediatric ophthalmology, all these POSI members and today's speakers. They have encouraged me for last more than 12 years and they are supporting me all the time to deliver different lectures, to present different papers, and that's why today I am coming out with something unique. Full screen. Full screen करो ना इसको. Full screen करो, full screen. Yeah, this particular tab which I have developed just because of encouragement of these people, this is a unique tab. It has two parts. Number one, assessment of visual acuity. You can assess the visual acuity of a baby also. You can assess the visual acuity of a non-cooperative child also with the help of different optotypes, pictorial optotypes. Then you can assess the visual acuity here. You can quantify the visual acuity in cases of amblyopia in terms of millimeters, and how much is the visual acuity in terms of millimeters and how much it has improved in millimeters, that you can quantify on this particular tab. I will show you. इसको जरा full screen करो ना. Okay, thank you. इधर बताओ. Anyway, yes, this particular tab, it has innovative optotypes for pre-verbal, pre-primary, and there is a spatial crowding phenomena where you can assess the visual acuity in terms of millimeters. And another important thing is that it has another number two part is the part of games. It has games for children, babies also for children, and it has special games for meridional amblyopia. There is no treatment till today for meridional amblyopia. One paper has been published in IJO 2018 August, especially on meridional amblyopia. That was my first original paper, and where I am tackling that meridional, the lazy neurons of that meridian with the help of games that improves the visual acuity. Then this particular tab has all different types, optotypes, and to utilize the critical period of visual development and to prevent the amblyopia, or to as a prophylactic measure in case, especially in cases of all the high risk babies. But these games are only allowed after the age of 2 years, and especially in cases of normal, even normal children can play. The amblyopic diagnosed, undiagnosed, or amblyopigenic babies can play, and there is a definite role of binocular games. That's why the tab is very useful, and that prevents the recurrence of the amblyopia, especially in case of patching. So my regime is that 50% I allow them to play binocularly and 50% with the better eye, the amblyopic eye, and close the better eye. This particular tab was inaugurated in long back by American Academy president, and one thing let me tell you, that all the parents are concerned, the concerned parents, they are all the time worried regarding their babies. They are playing all the time the tabs and all these things. So what will be the problem? Is there will be a problem? So look at the guidelines. Just take a snap of that. American and Canadian Academy of Pediatric and my own clinical research, no screen time is allowed for any digital media other than video chatting for babies younger than 2 years of age. But the critical period starts from 4 months and that reaches up to 7 years gradually, and the peak time is after 2 years. So we can give in all amblyopigenic babies, we can start treating after the age of 2 years to 5 years. There are special games available on the Play Store in the name of Vision Lazy Eye Master, and these are the different, and no game should be played, they are not allowed to play the games after up to 30 minutes only. They can repeat after that, and these games have a auto shutdown mechanism. If you download those games, and after 30 minutes it will automatically shut down. So as an ophthalmologist, I have to take those precautions, and I am very much thankful again for, and I am very much thankful for helping me to promote this particular tab, and these are my entire people. They have helped me quite in this particular project, so I am very much thankful to them. And the entire people, they
ATS 14 and 17, they are being conducted regarding the role of levodopa. That is the most extensively drug which has been tried in treatment of amblyopia. But our personal experience is, it is only a augmenting therapy, and it should be reserved only in cases of very severe amblyopia for the initial phase, so that there is faster improvement of the visual acuity. And the second important point is the effect is temporary. It regresses once you stop the treatment. So basically they are augmenting agent only, not a primary line of therapy, and the effect is temporary.
If there are no questions, then I'll have to I'd like to give few comments. You see, as far as we are talking of drugs, you know, like levodopa and ceticolin have been tried, but these are basically neurotransmitters, and they are available in all the cells of the brain, and they basically act on the synaptic mechanism of to re-establish the synapses once the synaptic system has broken because of the amblyopia, but they have not been found to be very effective. Now what is happening all over the world, that we are trying to find out some new neurotransmitters like GABA. So these are the transmitters which revitalize the neurons of the brain. And there are other, I forgot the name, there are a couple of more neurotransmitters which have been extracted from the brain, and now the research is based to synthesize these neurotransmitters, like we have ceticolin, and we also have GABA with us, and to administer these drugs systemically, I mean oral or injectable, and to try to revitalize or rejuvenate the neural cells of the amblyopic, that area of the brain, the visual cortex. So that is the ceticolin and levodopa have not been very effective. So that chapter is closed now. You can give it, but the results have been equivocal. So we are not concentrating on that now. We are concentrating of these newer neurotransmitters which have been found. Now, but I would like to just comment on a few important aspects. See, we were talking of the dichoptic therapy. Dichoptic therapy is a newer modality of therapy for amblyopia. Dichoptic means both eyes working together. Now, the television games have first started, even I advocated for a long time, but they are not effective because, you know, the good eye is equally open. What happens in dichoptic therapy is that you keep both the eyes open. There are a lot of games, you know, and there are head mounted systems also, and in that line we have the shutter glasses also, you know, which keep on closing. So the idea is, when you keep the both eyes open and play a game, you see the good eye has little blurred image. There has to be a difference between the images. If there is no difference between the images, then the good eye will keep on seeing the distant vision, and the bad eye and the amblyopia will not get stimulated. So there are three mechanisms for that. One is that for some time you have the total blurring of the good eye, and the amblyopia eye is seeing. Then the background is blurred of the good eye, and the amblyopia eye has the distinct image. So, and the third is that you alternately do these things. These three mechanisms work in the dichoptic therapy, isn't it, Savleen? So, so you have to keep one eye blurred, the good eye blurred, the background is blurred, though the eye is seeing. The idea is that the good eye has also to see, but the image is slightly blurred, not obscured totally, not totally obscured. It has slightly, the background is blurred, indistinct, but the eye is seeing, and the good eye has a clear distinct image. So the binocularity is maintained in the eyes, and now the research has shown that, as I was telling you before in my talk also, that if you know the inhibitory mechanisms which are going are obscuring, I mean they're shutting down the cortical cells of the amblyopia eye. So now what happens when you open both eyes, the binocular cells, which are almost 60% of the body, they are stimulated together, and from these binocular cells stimulus also goes to the amblyopic cells of the monocular cells. That is what they are saying. So that is the aim of dichoptic therapy. But remember, one eye has to be slightly, the good eye has to be slightly blurred. It is automatic in the head mounted system. The good eye is slightly blurred, and the amblyopia is fully distant clear image. But both eyes are working to stimulate the binocular cells. That has now the strategy. One thing more, it is not an alternative, it is not the first line of treatment. Basically, it started for adult amblyopias. You see, these things started for adult amblyopias, and with all said and done, you know, whatever effort you do, the improvement is not more than 2 to 3 lines. So it started in those people where you have completed the treatment of amblyopia, and the vision is not improving now. The contrast is not, the stereoscopic is not improving. Basically, we are concerned with the binocularity, the vision, and the binocularity, the stereopsis. So that is not improving now. Then we try this. Then we try this dichoptic therapy to improve the binocularity of the cells. And 2 to 3 lines improved. There is another aspect of the third aspect has been the perceptual learning, which has been also taken into account. But that is not very effective in adults. The perceptual learning is a different system where you teach a amblyopic patient how to do the various works in the daily course, but that does not come in the main regime of amblyopia treatment. So these are the certain things, but the gold standard, the mainstay of treatment still remains occlusion. As Dr. Dadia was also saying, still mainstay of treatment. You should not, this is not an alternative treatment, these are adjunctive treatments. Yes.
Axial length.
No. What does axial length has to do with amblyopia?
Amblyopic patients many of the patients who are seeing in the OPDs per day.
No, no, then,
No, I want to
no,
know
but
that size of the eyeball is smaller in amblyopic.
See, there are a lot of studies on that. There were people who pointed out that axial length differences bring out vascular differences in an amblyopic eye versus a normal eye. But they are true now only in anisometropic amblyopia. For that, because of the anisometropia, you have a difference in axial length. Otherwise, in a non-anisometropic amblyopic eye, the axial length will not be significantly different than the between the fellow and the amblyopic eye. If you look at the vascular density studies, they have done now because we have the OCTA. So OCTA takes out the vascular network in the amblyopic eye, which was found to be different than the normal eye and lesser to some extent in some studies because of the choroidal vascularity. That produced a change in the axial length, but again, level 1 evidence says no difference in the axial length.
देखिए this see change in axial may cause anisometropia or ametropia, whatever that is a different, that is not the per se the reason of calling it. One thing which has been also now my postgraduate student had also done 2 theses on this, and it has also been read in the All India, one of my by my residents. See, so far we were thinking that the retina has nothing to do with the amblyopia, right? The eye is normal anatomically, physiologically. I mean, the eye is normal. I mean, there was pathology in the eye, okay? But now macular changes have been now found. So that should be the question, that what does macular, but is it a cause or effect? You see, that is another way. There has been a few studies from Lucknow also, it has been done, and Subhash, you also done on that or no? Yeah, Professor Subhash also done. I also had done 2 theses on this, and by the resident they published that, read that paper in All India also. But you know, again, the thickness of macula has increased in amblyopia, has increased in amblyopia. Now with hypermetropic eye always has macular thickness anyway, and myopic eyes have lesser the thinning of the. So I mean, you see, we are, that's why it's told in my letter, we are still stepping on the stairs for amblyopia.
And sir,
So
the patients who are amblyopic having more than 4 or 5 plus power in one eye, if you prescribe the full power prescription to the patient, initially the patient doesn't accept that. Whether is functioning, then how you cooperate?
ये देखिए, ये बहुत different topic है. This is not way you should deal here. It comes with the refractive errors and the management of it. उसका जो amblyopia and anisometry, what he will accept.
Amblyopia treatment perspective point of view, I want to know that what should be the ideal power prescribed for the patient if they are having any reduction in the power?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. वो prescription of spectacles children में बिल्कुल अलग तरह का. If you have an isometry of using, and you read my book, there is a book available with JP Brothers, management of refracted errors and spectacles.
One simple thing I can tell you, just go and see that patient on duochrome and go as per the duochrome.